Gorlock was standing in front of the enormous and highly decorated Senate window. His wings were tucked and his gaze was sad. He observed the ongoing influx of 1,000 ships flying inside the citadel, disembarking refugees from his home world. He thought to himself, way too few ships. They had lost contact with Prif yesterday, when the Horde entered the system jamming everything. The only news they had from it came from the refugees. They were grim news. The halls of empty seats echoed the light footsteps of someone approaching. He didn't bother to turn. Whoever it was, he wasn't in the mood for politics. Not today. "Whatever is the matter, I can't do anything to help." His booming voice filled the room. "Maybe, but I just wanted to see this room. It is my first time here, or I must say the first time a human is here." The voice of the human ambassador, Miranda, surprised him. "I was informed that every coalition ambassador had left the station after the dissolution. Why are you still here, Miranda?" Miranda stopped at his side, looking through the window. "Your informers are correct, High Councillor Gorlock. Every coalition member ambassador left, but do you remember? Humanity was never a member. We only have an association status." "Another pitiful thing to the list of all this joke did." He gestured to the empty hall. "Tell me, why are you really here? I'm not in the mood for our discussions, Miranda." "Will you indulge an old friend in a little history lesson?" "What?" "Approximately 200 galactic standard years ago." Gorlock sighed and Miranda continuing without explaining. "Humanity was in brink of extinction. We polluted our atmosphere and created a nuclear winter after World War III, reduced to mere nothing and fighting for the scraps." Miranda walked to the table in the stand above the hall floor and seated down. Gorlock only accompanied her with his eyes. "And to top it all off, even in this despicable situation, we were considered a threat. A threat to all the galaxy because we evolved sapiens in a world where we were not supposed to. A death world." "I know all of this, Miranda. Why are you—" "Let me finish. I assure you it will be worth it," she smiled. He stood still for a few seconds. He opened his mouth to say he had things more important to do, but he didn't. Not now, and not in the near future. "Go on." "Thanks. As I was saying, even though we've destroyed ourselves, a group of aliens were considering glassing our planet, the Coalition, because the risk of us getting our shit together and spreading was far too great. Merit to them. I mean, the Horde is there to prove their point." Gorlock let out a bit of sulphur for his nostrils with that comment. "However, in an unprecedented turn of events, the Segradians, your people, had pity on us. When the extermination armada jumped to our system, they were met with full might of the Segradian navy. It must have been a diplomatic shitshow." "It was. I know that because I was the one that gave the order. Why are you wasting my time with all this? Are you mocking me? My planet has probably been scorched at this instant. Billions upon billions, dead." He punched the window, shattering it and injuring his hand. "My son stayed behind because he volunteered to defend our cradle, and is probably within the embrace of our goddess right now. So why, Miranda?" "Because I need you to understand something." "What?" "Our debt." "What debt?" "Just let me finish, you'll be quicker that way." Something in Miranda's pocket made a noise, and a smile grew as she looked at her tablet. Gorlock grunted and then stayed silent, glaring at the human. "Our salvation came from the skies as beautiful silvery ships landed, and from within them there were dragons," she said with a smile, looking at nothing, as if she could see the scene. "Your people lift humanity back to its glory. You gave us the stars and the horizons we dreamed since the beginning. A golden age of prosperity and exploration followed, along with new discoveries." Miranda stood up again and picked up Gorlock's injured hand. She was examining his deep blue scales. "It wasn't without its challenge. The Coalition never accepted us, but they gladly accepted our money as we established the wealthiest trade routes in the galaxy. Enough credits to birth the field of megastructures. And then we got to the point where the Coalition found another Death World civilization, but this time they've already conquered the void." Miranda then stared into Gorlock's eyes. Her purple eyes seemed that could see his very soul. "After losing several minor conflicts in the massacre of the United Fleet at the Sigma Vale, the Coalition broke up as the first planet the Horde decided to attack started being sieged. Your homeworld, High Councillor Gorlock. Humanity was never in good terms with the Coalition and its members, but we would like to believe we've always been good friends with the Segradians." Gorlock started to hear loud noises coming from the window, but he paid no mind to it. "That is why I was tasked to make the formal invitation to the cradle of the Phoenix Galactic Union, a pact that will have humanity and the Segradians' people as its founder members and allies." The noises coming from the window grew as Gorlock laughed after hearing the human. He was furious and about to burst when an explosion almost hit the Senate Tower. "I will address this joke of yours later," he said, turning to look at the window. "Now what is happening down there?" Miranda started to walk back to the entrance. Humans don't forget those who help them. Remember that when you give me your answer. As she was halfway into the hall, as another Sir Gradian came barging in. High Councillor! The man was clearly out of breath. The cradle is safe. The homeworld stands. Gorlock turned wide-eyed, and now he could make sense of it. The noises down in the streets were cheering, and the explosions fireworks. The other Sir Gradian turned the room's holographic video. Gorlock rushed to the man's side. The image of people hugging, celebrating Toke's shape. In the background, giant ships of deep blue colour occupy the pink skies of Printh. The image changed to the vision of a camera above their flagship bridge, the Invicta. Voidmaster Jakar was giving a speech as the Horde ships gloomed, taking the whole bridge window background. Then a bridge assistant interrupted Jakar. The camera feed changed and showed innumerable FTL portals appearing above Printh. More ships than stars in the background appeared, deep blue in colour and of slick shape. The biggest of them, Tiamat, as it was written in the hull, manoeuvred until she was between the defence forces and the Horde. A light appeared in his front, a bright blue, and its wide laser shot out and hit the Horde's flagship head-on, turning it into dust. It was beautiful. Gorlock lifted his head and saw Miranda leaving, waving.